Hello, everyone. This is Michelle with Scrappy Soul Sister, and I am happy to be with you today designing for the limited edition July My Creative Scrapbook kit. And so this kit is full of goodies from 49 and Market, including this academia patterned paper. And so with the patterned paper, it had this lovely frame in the center. And so I wanted to cut that out and lift it so I can tuck embellishments and such underneath. And so I've already done that. And I'm going to go ahead and ink and distress all the edges, which you can see me doing here. And so this kit is perfect for graduation pictures. And so my daughter just graduated from college in May. And so I'm working my way through some of her pictures. So I'm excited to be able to use this kit for one of those. And you see, that's kind of the look I'm going for. I will back the main piece with white cardstock so that I can lift that cutout piece. I loved these doors that were included in the academia die cuts, and so I am going to turn one into a shaker box. And so I don't show you that I'm probably not the best at making shaker boxes. Many of you can probably do better, but I did want to have that globe look behind it. So you saw that previously in that picture. I love this stencil. It's a Vicky Bouton stencil included in the kit. And so I am using the rose gold glaze creative effects from Vicky Bouton to accent some of the areas that I'm going to use for my embellishment clusters. And I'm going to add just a bit of splatters from that as well. So okay, my next step, I want to add a little bit of depth. I don't always use my MISTI when I do stamping on layouts, but on this layout, I wanted my stamped images to be really crisp. And so I am using it. And I just went through my stash and found some geometric style of stamps just to add to where my embellishment clusters are going to be. And one other tip if you have a large MISTI, they are great for flattening layouts. And so if you add mixed media to your layout and you don't have a laminating machine, throw it under your MISTI overnight and it works really well. So all right, and so taking a look, seeing what I think of that so far, and I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and add some glaze over those stamped images just to give it a little bit more dimension. And yeah, so far so good. I'm going to add a bit of water so I can have some raised and then some more flatter elements to that honeycomb glazed image. So, all right, I have my notebook die or punch, and so I'm going to do a bunch of edges on some of the pattern paper that comes in the kit. And that is what I'm going to use above and around my frame. Also going to cut out these books out of the packaging to add as an embellishment, I believe above my daughter's photo there. So I'm going to go ahead and I actually use 2 foam layers because I really want some lift. The other thing I found, because I am going to add some flowers, is the flowers, are a bit thicker. And so if you have some layers around them that are thicker as well, they're not going to get as tall as the flower, and I'm not going to put the flower on that level, but it'll give it some support. So, and lining things up, making sure I have everything the way I want it before I stick that down. I'm going to use some of those frames that come with the academia embellishment pack that comes with the kit to frame my photo. I also used a piece from the wherever embellishment kit that came with the photo or came with the kit. So you can really interchange some of these embellishments, even though they're from two different groups. So, and adding some ink around the edges. Like I said, I believe I used walnut stain throughout on this layout. Going to go ahead and ink my title there. Now with my title, I went with congrats, and I have another piece, I believe you did it, that I'm going to use in one of the embellishment clusters. I did hit both of those with the glossy accents, and so that gives it a little bit of depth versus being just the paper. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tuck in my little strips there, add a little bit more map paper so that I have that tied in a few different places, rough up the edges a little bit, and then look at what I want to do for embellishments. All right, I have my tag up at top that I've tied off, and then I am going to add this globe in a couple different places you'll see. And I think that I'm going to try to use some of these brown embellishment or word phrases. So I typically try to use the same style in the three clusters that I have. And so I'm leaning towards those brown pieces to add some consistency. All right. So as I'm going through there, you'll see the congrats that you see. It's a little bit shiny. And I'm going to play with that paper a little bit more and add, kind of see what I want to do down at that bottom portion. So, like I said, my daughter graduated this last May. She went to University of Colorado in Denver, so you can kind of see in the background the Union Station behind her. And so I really love this photo. There's a couple photos from that she took there that I've used already. So all right, so I'm taking a look at how I want to do some flowers. And so there's so many beautiful flowers in this kit. And so I want to create some clusters with those. And I am really um, just man on a mission in this layout. Lots of times when I do scrapbooking, I have a lot of stops and starts, and oh my gosh, I need to take a step away. But this one I really powered through, and so that made this video a bit longer because there wasn't as many obvious places to cut. Um, so thank you for bearing with me. Um, I am going to go ahead and glue down some of those flowers and embellishments there above the picture because I'm pretty sure that that is what I like. And yeah, and then I am gluing down the ones over to the left as well. You'll see that ivory flower above the shaker box. I did take out the center of that flower, and that's a great way to extend your flowers so that you can use the two pieces elsewhere. And it also, that particular flower was one of the ones that had a really tall crown to it. And so it felt like it was too high even though I have it on the lower section of that layout, the way it's stacked. So I did remove that, and now I'm taking a look at how I want to um, go ahead and uh, what I want to put in the center, because obviously I'm going to have to do something. So I have these little pink embellishment flowers that I'm going to use throughout. You'll see in the rest of the video, try to figure out how I want to do those. Those were from my stash, but I needed something little to use throughout as not enamel dots, but that same type of concept. All right, I've just beheaded another flower. And so I'm going to use that smaller bit to add that kind of terracotta color over to the right. And yeah, just plugging away. There I have a lot of my flowers set up on that, those two portions. And now, oh, got to drink some coffee. So I apologize. I am like drinking beverages throughout this, and they seem to manage to have made it on to camera. So I need to do a better job at that. Coffee is good. So going to go ahead and adhere the things that I've decided about. And yeah, the main thing that I am still trying to figure out. So I was trying to figure out where I wanted to do um, that middle little phrase, and I do move that so I don't have two kind of stacked or vertically on the layout. And I'm going to go ahead and glue down some of the flowers that I added since the last time I glued things down. And I will move over that phrase here shortly. There you go. So when I did one of the other layouts, I took a lot of these little round pieces and hit them with um, glossy accents, and then I sprinkled glitter on them. So you might see that in one of my other videos coming out for this kit. So I had some left over, so I am adding them to this layout. And then I'm building that bottom cluster. So, and when I looked at this layout, when I did the video, as I liked it in like the three different stages. The one stage where it was just the florals above my daughter's pictures, and then the two floral clusters. At either of those spots, I probably could have stopped, but I am a more is more gal, so I just kept going and adding. And so that is what I am doing here, is finishing off that bottom cluster. Going to go ahead and adhere those flowers. And I think that I am happy with how that all looks so far. And so I'm going to come back here in a few minutes and take another look at those pink flowers, those little guys, after I get all of this adhered and inked. Um, and particularly with these kits, I do try to ink the edges just because it does help them stand out quite a bit. Sometimes I forget, and I'm okay with that. Um, there we go. Adding a few more embellishments to the left and the right. I really love the different shapes that come in that academia embellishment pack with all the rulers and all the other more school oriented shapes. And so it really adds to this style of layout. I am glad um, that my daughter had just graduated, and so it really allowed me to use some of these pieces because she is at the end of her education. I think I have scrapbooked everything that I have of her through her college years, other than this graduation and some of her high school graduation. Some of those pictures I still am scrapbooking. So, all right, so I added some of those pink flowers and I am just going to add those here and there for a little bit of interest. And yeah, I think I'm getting close to wrapping things up. I decide on one, a larger one, to go in the center of that ivory flower. So I'll go ahead and glue that down. Um, and make sure I have everything the way I want it. And I think, oh, right. So I am going to add opal glitter medium to all of these flowers because I didn't, there isn't a lot of white on this layout. I mean, the background paper is very creamy, and I thought it would look nice to add just a little bit more shine and iridescence. And so, in person, it looks really cool. I really like this medium. It's hard to pick it up in photos, but I do my best. And so I do touch up all of these flowers with that medium. And then I am going to ink the edge of the layout. And after I am done with that, I'm going to grab my gold liquid pearls and add that to the center of the flowers. So I think that's about it. Thank you for joining me for this layout. Thank you to my creative scrapbook and enjoy some close-ups.